Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in. Liverpool versus City tomorrow. It is gargantuan. It's gigantic. We're here to do the combined 11s. You know the scores in relation to getting who you want on there. We open up a book. You can bid in and out players, whoever you want. Well, if they're on the screen, that is, and it's the full squads that are available. We've got a great panel for you this afternoon. Remember to smash that like button, though. Very important you hit the like button. Very important that you subscribe to the Football Terrace. Click on the bell notification so you know when we go live. We are also going to be doing a reaction show to Everton Man United later. So make sure you're tuning in for that as well. The Arsenal stream is still doing bare numbers because people like laughing at Arsenal. But let's delve into this. Let's take a little look at the panel we've got for you today. We've got Man Lucky Gal. We've got Kesh. We've got Liverpool hater David. And we've got Conroy, Liverpool fan, with us. Gents, how are you all doing?
I'm good.
Cool. All good? Yeah. All right.
Good, thanks, mate. Yeah, good.
I don't know what should I speak. Yeah, good. Same rules as ever on these shows. You can see we're going to pick a goalie, two fullbacks, centre backs, midfield, and forwards. We're going to go with 4-3-3 as a prescribed formation. Because I think that's how Liverpool mainly play. And I know City have kind of gone to a double pivot recently, but they've got enough players to handle it both ways. We're going to go. I'm not really going to be involved in the debate. So what will happen is you guys will debate between you on each subject matter. I'll make a decision on who has the best argument to place him into the team. But of course, the audience can create a book and they can bid in and out players that they want. Let's jump straight into it. We're going to straight away go with goalkeepers. And they don't need to be fit ahead of tomorrow's game. We're just going to do squads that available players this season based on form or whether you think they're better or not, whatever your logic needs to be. Let's delve into this now. We'll start with Conroy, as he's the guest today on the Football Terrace, and of course a Liverpool fan. Goalkeeper, who would you go with, mate?
I would, like, both Ederson and Alisson are brilliant goalkeepers. But I would go with Alisson. And the reason being is if you've watched a lot of Liverpool games this season, we've obviously had, I'm not going to go into the injuries issues, but we've had quite a few different players and individuals at centre back and in the defence. Alisson has been very good. Also, not just with like important saves, but actually being the sweeper keeper he is. Don't know if you watched the game last week. A few times he comes out, heads it away. He's been really important in that sense as well. So I understand Ederson's. I've never had the chance to check, but I think he's got more clean sheets. I might be wrong, but I think he has quite a lot of more clean sheets. But I would say Alisson's he's saved Liverpool a few times. Ironically, we've just lost to Burnley and Brighton, but there has been other games after Van Dijk left where he really has pulled some great saves and performance. So I would go with Alisson.
Would anybody disagree with that and go with Ederson?
I would disagree, 100%. The best defense in the league. They've changed their whole way of playing, especially just going back to some of these games this season. Ederson has saved them too, especially like the Arsenal game. There's 2 one-on-ones that he clearly saved in that game. We had the better chances, destroyed them. And not just looking at the Arsenal game, also looking at other games too. Ederson has been outstanding. And I think he won the Golden Boot last year and he's on pace to win it again this year. So based on that, and also he's been more fit. He's played more games. Of course, I don't know if he missed the game due to COVID or not. Yeah, he did. The backup goalkeeper played those games also, but he hasn't missed as many games as Alisson. So based on the fact that he's played more games, had more clean sheets, and been involved in the best defense, I would say Ederson is a better choice.
David?
I'll go Alisson. I think they're both fantastic keepers in their own right. I think Ederson's like ball playing ability is fantastic, but when it comes to shot stopping, some of the saves I've seen, his positioning is not that great. If I was a Chelsea fan and I could have a goalkeeper, which I actually very much need because Mendy is a bit of a fraud, I would take Alisson over Ederson personally. I think Alisson can also play with his feet, maybe not as well, but it's not like it's a negative against him, and his shot stopping ability is of a higher quality. So I'd go with Alisson personally.
Kesh?
I'd have to go for Alisson. In terms of shot stopping, he's one of the best I've ever seen, to be honest. As David said, he can play with his feet as well. It's not like he's not got the ability to do it. I've seen games this season where he's saved Liverpool's bacon, to be honest. So, yeah.
So that's it. Alisson is in. It's 3-1 in terms of the voting. So I don't need to be Simon Cowell and give a casting vote in that. We'll jump into the fullbacks then next. And I mean, this is such an interesting one. We'll start off with left back. Igal, who would you pick as I suppose, where are we going to put Cancelo, first of all? Are we going to look at him as a right back or a left back?
Right back.
I'm putting him right
back. Okay, so we'll start with left back first of all. Who's going in the team, Igal?
For me, left back has to be Robertson. I don't think there's a debate. I think Robertson goes in. Robertson's been good this season, and I think out of both teams, you could make an easy case. You could make an easy case for right back, but left back I think is another debate. I would just say Robertson and leave it at that.
Everybody agreed it should be Robertson. We're not thinking of Mendy or Shevchenko, not Shevchenko.
Zinchenko.
Yeah, Zinchenko. We're all going to agree on Robertson on this one. It's pretty.
Well, I think, being Scottish as well, I think I'm going to go with the national team captain as well.
Okay. But we've got one thing to ask you here as a Scot: Tierney or Robertson?
Tierney's clear. Tierney.
No, it's the reason it's Robertson is a lot of people forget that I think it comes actually maybe down to ability, but mentality with Robertson as well. I've heard the story. People get fed up hearing the story, but when he played in Scotland at Dundee United, he was only there for one season, and then he's got a lot of ambition, so he moved to Hull. What I would say is I actually think Robertson is really good at defending, and people don't mention it enough because if you watch teams, they don't go down his side a lot. They don't get much. A few players have beat him over maybe 3 years, but not loads. Tierney is brilliant. I've been really impressed with Tierney this year as well. I think he's stepped up. His crossing's been very good this year. I just think, for me, Robertson just edges it because I think he's great defensively and he's just slightly better going both ways. But I can understand the gal's opinion on Tierney because he is very good as well.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I just like to. I often like going to I know you've got a little bit of a kind of vested interest because you're a Liverpool fan as well. But I love asking Scots that question because it's great.
Well,
because
bear in mind, Tierney played for Celtic, and so there's I'm not saying every Scotland and from Scotland's a Rangers Celtic, but there's a lot of Celtic fans as well when you're asking, so they're going to say Tierney. So that's maybe half of the gals in the comments are Celtic fans.
It isn't Celtic Rangers; it's generally Catholic or Protestant, and that always plays a part in these things, as we know. My ex-wife was Catholic and learned a lot about that. I mean, growing up as a kid, I just used to like the football, right? And then you realize as you get older what it was stemmed from. You're like, oh, I'm just going to keep my opinions to myself.
Well, yeah. If you're from Scotland, yeah, you realise that. But what I would say on Robertson, by the way, see, recently he's been decent, but the season he's been very good. But the last games he's just been okay. But what I would say is, as I said in another show, I do think he's been asked to go, but be a bit more reserved. But I just think his defensive work gets mislooked because it's not even like he's making great tackles. It's just people just do not go down his side because they try it once. Whereas they look at Trent, and we're going to talk about, and people are just like identify that as a weakness straight away. So I think Robertson's been probably our best player this year so far.
I think that's unilateral in terms of that. When we look at right back though, Ram joined us now, Liverpool fan. We don't have any City fans on the show. We know I reached out to a couple they couldn't actually do today. In relation to that, but Ram, who's going to be the right back?
It's gonna hurt me, but it's got to be Joao Cancelo. When I heard City were getting Joao Cancelo last season, I was absolutely gutted because he is a phenomenal player. Like I've seen him play a little bit for Juventus, and I'm surprised he didn't get a starting look at Juventus, and the money that they paid for him looks like it's worth every single penny. So yeah, I think Cancelo's having an amazing season this season, and Trent hasn't been at that level this season, so it's got to be Cancelo.
Where is he? I can't see him.
He's there. The one on the left. No, that's not him. That's not him.
That's Torres.
That's Cancelo.
Yeah, cool. Do you know what it is? I really struggle because it's quite a small monitor it's on, and when you've got half their heads chopped off, there we go. That's who it is. Conrad, obviously you're a Liverpool fan. Would you agree? Would you agree that this season Cancelo has been superior to that of Trent?
Yeah, what I would say is Trent's. I said it last night. Trent's not been as bad. I sometimes think it's been a problem with movement. He's not been great though, and there's just been too many games where he's not been great. It's not even an argument. I mean, Cancelo has been. I remember Gary Neville said when he came because he was a manager of Valencia, and he says he's amazing at attack, but you'll never see him in the defence. But he's actually improved a lot recently. I think he's been very good. So yeah, Cancelo for me.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that's Rodri. See, there we go. I can't even tell.
I don't think you have Cancelo there.
How do I not have Cancelo here? I've got the whole squad.
I can't see him.
I can't see him.
Right, is he not there? Like again, I don't think he's there. Let me zoom in more. Anyone see him?
He's not.
He's
there.
right there. He's under Kyle Walker, no?
Oh,
Where's Kyle
that's
Walker?
Where is Kyle Walker?
No one's under Kyle
one's
Walker.
there.
Kyle
no
Walker's
one's
there.
under.
I can't tell where he is. Let's know where he is. Epic Nin, I've just sent you the link. Maybe I don't have.
Under
No,
Raheem
Laporte.
Sterling. Isn't that under Raheem Sterling?
No,
He's not
that's
under
Rodri.
Sterling.
That's Rodri.
Oh,
Eric,
Rodri.
that's Eric Garcia. That's Eric Garcia, and that's Raheem
he's not
Sterling.
there.
He's not there.
I put him in there. That's why it's cool. We'll get that done now. I'll get him added in a moment, AJ. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, I swear, like sometimes you look at someone and go, that can't be you. But I'll put no, it's not you. Anyway, I know he's not there. Epic Nin's with us now as a City fan as well. I think every universal agreement when it comes to Cancelo this season. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. It's mad though, isn't it? Like no one really knows what he looks like. It shows how much people watch City.
Oh my goodness.
It's true. Epic Nin, you're obviously a City fan. Do you agree that Trent's been better? Cancelo's been better this season?
Yeah, 100%. He's been phenomenal this season. What a step up from last season. Last season he did not feature in that much last season.
Epic Nin, brother, can you just step like maybe an inch further away from your mic? Yeah, that's perfect, bro. Thank you. Because in my ears, that is mad loud. I'm actually hurt. I think I'm deaf. Hello. Yeah, he's been out of this world. Let me just find him on here, and I'm going to add him background wise. Midfield, though. We'll move on to the centre back. Sorry. I want to go to David first on this. David, pick your centre back pairing. We're going to do it as a pair. We're going to debate the best pair in. So, who would be your centre back pairing?
For me, it'd be a big Ruben Diaz, and money can't buy a John Stones. For me, those two have been absolutely fantastic this season. Hey. I think 13 games, 1 goal conceded is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Liverpool centre backs can't even keep fit. Matip is in and out of the hospital like nobody else.
Is it not phenomenal that last month we scored 24 goals and we only conceded 6 goals?
Exactly.
Last month.
It's ridiculous. Joe Gomez can't keep fit. I'm a fan of Joe Gomez. I watched him at Charlton a lot with my friend. He's a good player, but I wouldn't have him over John Stones or Ruben Diaz right now.
Conrad, would you make an argument for any of your centre backs, including for maybe even Fabinho, to go into the team?
So obviously this has been like recent times because Van Dijk and Gomez wouldn't be considered. But what I'd say is, and I hear what David's saying, because like Man City, you can't argue that run because I think we done that a couple of years ago. We only conceded a certain amount and we were like lapping up the plaudits. So I don't think we can be hypocrites there. But what I would say is Fabinho is a CDM, right? And if you watch the performances, he has been superb. He really has. So I don't know if Ram would back that up. I think it's hard to disagree with Stones and Diaz, but I would mention that Fabinho, he might deserve it just because it's a bit like Alisson. Like the team's not been great, and he's had to step in there, and he has played very well. So
yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, I think he's been good at centre back, but which means that problem with that is that you get a removed an element in your midfield, which made you weaker in a sense. But
yeah, we're just trying to plug any hole now, mate.
Yeah. Can I say something? When it comes to the last time we did this, a combined 11 with including Man City, I said I would not take John Stones at Arsenal. I want to retract that statement and say I was wrong.
John Stones,
because John Stones this year has proven me wrong based on his previous performances. I had a statement to actually, I had a point to say that, but now at this point he's proven me wrong, and I have to take that and say I was wrong about John Stones. I think it's John Stones and Diaz, in my opinion.
No, look, for me, Stones alone, I don't think he is as good as when he was with Diaz. Okay, so when he was with Laporte, they're both not very commanding centre backs, and they're not very good in terms of communicating each other. Hence the in dipping performances last year, etc., or the year before. But now, when you have a proper leader next to him, look at the levels he is at right now. So just keeping that in mind.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just has to be those two. I just think it is what it is. I think Fabinho's done really, really well, but it's the collect. It's easy to pick a partnership, and that's what we're going to go. Remember, you can get your super chats in to change this once things. I mean, so far we can't have Mo Salah in the team because somebody's paid $2.99 to put Mo Salah in jail, which means he cannot be put into this team as it stands right now. So get your super chats ready, people. Smash those likes and share buttons as well. We're going to move into midfield and start. We're doing a 4-3-3, so we're going to start with the DM role. the holding or the DM, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to go to Kesh first on this. Who would you pick to play in that position?
I think it has to be Roger, you know. It has to be. I think he's stepped up a level from what he was last season, which is understandable. First season in the league. I think he's settled now, and he's offering a very good base for protection to that back four.
Yeah, I hear you on that. What about yourself, Conrad? Would you look at Fabinho? I mean, what about Thiago, best midfielder in the world, coming to the Premier League? A lot of people said, like,
no, let's not get exaggerated. Sometimes it's like he's done okay, and I don't think he's done as bad as people are saying. Like, I was watching a game the other night, he's feeding balls through, but then the touch off our players, it's just going over there, it's over there. I mean, he's trying to make things happen, but we've got to judge it on his performance. Like, I think personally, his tackling's not been very good. Like, he seems like a Paul Scholes rash tackler. Like, it's quite funny. Nat Phillips does that, right? He comes on against Spurs like, that's horrendous. He's out of control. He gets booked in the first 5 minutes against Southampton. So, it's okay. It's all right. Well, he's the best player. He is great, but he's not the best tackler I've seen. But for me, I would say for me, I'd go for, because Fabinho's kind of been all over the place. Don't really think we can argue that now. I understand the Rodri argument. I was going to say Gini or Hendel, but the thing is, see, because we've had to keep changing stuff around, the consistency is quite difficult. I don't know if Ram will agree with me, but I think it has to be Rodri. I thought about this before we got on. I think for those the winning run they've been on, I don't think we can really argue that, and how strong their defence has been as well. So I'd accept Rodri.
Is anyone making an argument for anyone other than Rodri?
Gomez can make his own jail. He can go to jail because he's in that.
Someone mentioned in the comments. Someone mentioned it in the comments about Fernandinho instead of Rodri. But I don't disagree. But I think Rodri is better because he has played more games than Fernandinho, so you can't really put him in there. So I'll put Rodri instead there. So
that Spanish Andre Gomez can stay down there. He's an embarrassment.
We need to be patient. People, again, so reactionary. Everything's reactionary.
Hold on. I swear, all these Liverpool fans go at Werner and Havertz. Oh, we got to be patient now.
I didn't know, mate. I think Werner Havertz. I watched him. I think it was like I'm not going to get Scottish football, but I watched a few games in the Europa League, and the guy looks instinctive. Looks very good. People were just so quick to judge right now, and I just think sometimes you just need to stay calm. Thiago will come good. I don't know if I'm a positive Liverpool fan. I keep thinking of Rodgers or Hodgson, so I'm having a great time right now. I'm okay.
All I'm saying is Klopp has this thing with midfielders where all their output just magically just disappears, just goes. It doesn't exist.
I hear that. Who are we looking at here is the two sort of sixes either side of the DM. We're going to do them as a pairing as well, like we did the centre backs. I'm going to go to Kesh first on this. Who would be your two players from both collective squads to go into them roles?
It's got to be Gundogan and KDB for me, to be honest. Gundogan, looking at fine wine. Like, the guy just getting better with age. He's adding a lot of goals this season. He's been exceptional. KDB, he's been a very good player for City this year. It's a shame that he's injured and he's going to be missing for the game tomorrow. But overall, both of them as a partnership have been excellent.
Yeah, I agree completely. Gal, what would you say? Would you pick anyone different from those two sixes?
All I gotta say is, imagine having Gundogan as squad depth. Manchester City, like, this is a joke. This is a joke to them. Like, honestly, the only other person you can make a case for would be if Bernardo Silva was in better form, but I don't think anyone from the Liverpool side would actually get into this team. Realistically, based on ability. Based on last year, if I did this last year, I would have gone Henderson and Kevin De Bruyne. But this year, it has to be Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne.
So, I mean, does Henderson not get into anybody's team? Voted Liverpool fans saying last season better than Paul Scholes, best midfielder in the league, player of the year. Surely he can't not be in this team.
But for me, he does get in because I still think he has played well. Someone told me a stat that
he's playing a centre back.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I get it. It's difficult, I get that, Egal. It's hard because I've watched him for so long at midfield to suddenly change my tune on that. But it's like, I know it sounds, fans love to criticise Jordan Henderson. They love to. But even his stats show, like, he makes such a difference in that midfield because he brings it's actually maybe not to his game, but he makes other players play better. I mean, he covers Trent a lot. I think you can see how Liverpool Trent's game stopped since Henderson's not been in midfield. And I made a point. I don't know if you'll laugh at this, but see if Van Dijk is playing the passes that Jordan Henderson's playing at centre back, like against Brighton, right? You'd be on Twitter, you'd hear it all the time. But because it's Henderson, it's like maybe Van Dijk can play those passes because he's got time to play those passes when Henderson's in midfield.
So does Hendo have a case to make?
I agree with what Conroy is saying, but based on the individuals' performances that we've seen in midfield, the Gundogan, the KDB outweighs whatever Henderson's done this season in midfield.
Yeah, probably right. I think he's still been good.
I mean, KDB is the best player in the
has
league.
been the best midfielder from both teams. Let's be honest. This season, he's been the best midfielder.
David? What did you say
I was going to say KDB is probably the best player in the league. Like overall, when you look at things over the past 2 or 3 years, just to make Terry happy because he's technically my boss, isn't it? Just to make Terry happy. Over the past 2 or 3 years, Bruno Fernandes. Kevin De Bruyne's been the best player in the Premier League. And everybody knows I've got a soft spot for my boy Silky Ilky in Man City because he's an ex-Dortmund player. It's a fantastic player. I think he's really good. So I'd have.
Did you just call him those Silky? That your pet name for him, bruv?
I've been calling him Silky Ilky for years. The guy is so. You see, he is what Liverpool fans thought Thiago would be.
Don't try it.
So,
oh my God.
Could I add to that, David? Though, I think genuinely 6 months ago, people were slating Gundogan for not doing enough. So does that show that sometimes you need to be patient? You need to be patient. I mean, look at him now.
You can be patient. You could be patient with Thiago all you want. He's on your team. For me though, I'm going at him. I don't care. He's gonna break every line with one pass.
The difference between City and Liverpool is Gundogan, Bernardo Silva are looked at as squad depth when their team last year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mahrez as well. Yeah.
For me,
so that's man.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. I just think Gundogan is like
context has to be applied here because last year I said context has to be applied here because last year he was playing in a deeper role where he was making a lot of mistakes in our midfield. Now, I'm surprised how well he's doing in in a more forward position, and we're happy about it. I'm just saying, it's different circumstances from last year to this year.
Yeah, of course, and that's why. But for me, listen to everybody's debates. Listen to what everybody, let's just say pairs on everything except fullbacks. The United terrace. I mean, there's only one Man United fan on there, and I'm not even getting involved in the debate. But all right, mate. All right, listen, Mr. Sensitive, calm yourself down. So I'm gonna go with the midfield that's been picked. Though we're gonna put KDB in on the right hand side there, and then we're gonna pick Silky Ilky. We're gonna stick him there on that side. Currently, it is 6-2. It is 6-2. Get your super chats ready, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to change this team up, we're going to go into the strike force now. We're going to start with probably I don't know if we'd say it's the easiest or the hardest one, really. Who starts in the number 10, the number 9, the central striking role position?
I mean, both teams are playing false 9, so I don't know.
Okay, well, you can put a false 9 in that role as well. It's fine. It doesn't need to be someone who's got a right position. But
Terry, does the player have to be available, or is it going off the whole season?
Just in the whole season. Right now, everyone's fit. Who are you putting into a combined 11 between the two squads?
I'm putting Sterling in striker.
Diogo Jota.
No.
Aguero on one leg is better than both of them.
That doesn't count, David. Come on.
Aguero, I'm sorry. If it's me, I'm taking a Jesus and Firmino are brothers.
What about Diogo Jota?
What about Jota? They can't finish for life.
What about
Jota has a case on the left?
Yeah, I don't think
I
would
play Phil Foden left wing.
Okay,
you know what?
Yeah, go on.
For me, if we're saying it doesn't matter if players are injured, for me it has to be Foden, Jota, and Salah.
What about Aguero though?
He's not really played this year.
Man looks heavy.
Terry said that if everyone's fit.
They've got to have played this season as well. They've got to have played this season. If they're out, what I mean is KDB's out right now, but he's had a season. You get what I mean? So yeah, nuance in it. But do you know what I might do? I might take KDB out of midfield and play him in the false 9 role.
False 9. Could do,
and then put. I don't know who I'd then put in the midfield. I'd throw Bernardo Silva or somebody into the
No,
midfield.
Oh, no.
Foden.
Look at his
No,
stats. No
The
chance.
Bernardo Silva is
He's
the
better
most.
than I like him.
In the words
No.
of Jamie Carragher, the most overrated footballer I think I've ever seen in my life.
No.
Honestly,
No.
that
Conrad,
guy
listen,
is a
could say that for the
fraud
same thing for
walking.
No.
He's a fraud.
No,
He
He's
don't
been on
do
form
nothing.
for the last 2
No.
seasons.
Listen.
He
Fernando
done
Torres.
nothing.
Ferran Torres.
Listen.
No, Bernardo Silva. He's
Bernardo
dead.
Silva.
He's.
No,
I
No,
wouldn't
I
even-
wouldn't say he's dead. Just
He's
He hasn't
dead
stepped
for
up.
now.
hasn't been performing for the last 2 seasons.
No,
Oh,
I'm talking
fam,
about this
he ain't
season.
performed. in
Remember,
time.
guys, this is Manchester City. If he was at Chelsea, if he was at Arsenal, if he was at any other club in the top 6, he would be starting week in, week out.
I'd rather Mason
listen.
Mount start above in front of him. That's coming from me.
No,
You're taking the piss now. You're taking the piss
Oh,
now.
you know what?
no.
I would do
The
actually.
problem-
I'd put KDB into the 9 role. I'd put Phil Foden into the midfield 3 because he can play that role, and then I would go on the left. I would have Raheem Sterling. We know where KDB is, and on the right I would have I'd have Mo
Sterling
Salah.
has been poor this season.
I wouldn't have Sterling. Sterling has been really bad this season.
Jota's
honestly.
got to get a shout, though. Come on,
Jota-
Jota.
I was
come
going-
on.
I would go for the
Because-
front 3 of Liverpool: Jota, Salah, and Mane, because I wouldn't. I wouldn't put.
I don't think Mane gets in.
I wouldn't
think
put.
Mane
I wouldn't
gets
put Sterling. in
Mane
this
don't
team.
get nowhere near this team.
No, I
No.
wouldn't put.
No.
No, look. If you look at Sterling's goals and assists, it is not very good this season. And we all talk about Salah.
Well,
Mane's
Mane.
contribution to the team.
Performances.
No,
It's
no,
about
no,
performances. There's been a lot of times where his contributions did not count as assists because his shot or his pass got deflected, and that person it was a fantasy assist, but it's not a real life assist.
That happens to
Do you
Mane
get what
as
I'm
well.
saying?
That happens to
No,
Mane.
I'm saying if you're going based off statistics,
Mane, I love
say
Mane. I love Mane. I want him at United. But this year, I don't know what's worse, his performances or the hairline, bruv. Like, it's literally been awful,
I would
brother.
say
Sadio
my
Mane
front
has
three-
less goal
I think people
contributions
have
in all
overlooked how
competitions
bad
than Timo
Sterling
Werner.
has been this season.
This is my front three,
honestly.
right?
So, guys,
the-
this is what everyone's saying because we're not really overtly agreeing. If we went with Sterling on the left, that'll move in a second. If we then threw, say, I've got to see him here. Where's Matt? There he is. Jota in the middle, and on the right hand side, we were to put
Salah.
Mo Salah. Would that offend anyone overtly?
No. Listen, I'll put right wing Ferran Torres, striker Diogo Jota, and then Phil Foden left wing.
You're not putting no. I'm not having that.
No,
You're not
Sterling.
taking the Egyptian team
Ferran
off that
Torres.
team. You're not taking Salah off that team. Salah has to be there.
No,
Salah.
Salah's been rubbish this season.
No, but I think Salah,
What?
as Terry said previously, Salah, right, has never been like, you don't watch him and think, oh, he's technically amazing, but he's effective and he's still top scorer. So that's what Salah does, like, and that's what works. So
you put
if he's-
Fernan Torres. Epic.
Yeah,
What do you
Ferran Torres
want?
been good this season.
Ferran
Based
I
on
think you're
Torres
moving
is
on.
not better. Yeah, Torres has been good this year, but he isn't better than Salah, and he hasn't had a better
talking about-
season
He's
than
been good for Spain. He's been good for Spain. He's got a hat trick
He's
against
living off
Germany.
that
I'm not saying
German-
play like that
He's
for
living off
City.
that.
Salah. Absolutely brilliant.
Sterling has been crap this season.
Wow, that's what we're going to settle on this team. We're going to settle on that 30 minutes in. We've got half an hour left on the show. This is where you guys get to have your say and have your views and have your opinions. We're going to keep discussing this game ahead of tomorrow, but there have been some super chats already. That I'm going to go through now. So things will change. So Mo Salah is already out of this team. I'm going to pay
What about Foden though?
Hang on a second. Just hang on a minute. Just hang your horses, mate. Mo Salah has been moved out of this team. Someone has then paid. So it's going to cost. And they've paid £5 to put Mahrez into the team, plus the money that someone paid just to remove Mo Salah. That puts on Mahrez, it's £8 to take Mahrez out of this team. Also, we're running a book here, quick maths. In terms of players that people wanted putting in, Sterling here has now got a £7 bounty on his name to remove him. That was from Mohammed, who basically said, what are you talking about? He has almost 20 goal contributions this year. We've got a super chat just come in here from Century that says Salah, Jota, Foden. So I can't take out Sterling for that because Sterling's got a £7 bounty. Jota's already in. So what we're going to do is put that monetary sum, I don't know how much that's worth in pounds sterling, but we can say it's £2, is there's a £2 bounty to remove Jota if you want him out. But that is a team. And I will say it is a little bit shocking. It is a little bit shocking that Phil Foden's not in there. but people can have their say elsewhere. We'll let the super chats come in. People can have their say right about now. Ahead of the game tomorrow, I know obviously we spoke to Igal, we spoke to Conroy yesterday. I'm going to Epic Nin on this as a City fan. How confident are you of going to Anfield tomorrow and kind of breaking the hoodoo?
I mean, I'm still wary though. Still having a 17-year curse is kind of still annoying. I mean, I'll take a draw. If I'm honest, I'll take a draw over there. Just leave it at that. But it'll be. But I don't think even though based on the things for me is Liverpool are better at teams where they have more space to exploit for like Salah to run into. But we're not a team to just sit back and close the spaces and etc. But we're not going to be like that Burnley type team. So Liverpool will have more of an advantage in terms of like attacking us and potentially winning the game. So I'll stay wary. I'll just take a draw for this game.
Just take a draw. Go your Man City, bruv. Ram, you weren't on the preview yesterday. How are you feeling ahead of this match? Of course, three wins on the defeats on the bounce. Now, this would be your third win on the bounce if it was to go wrong. Do you have confidence that because it's a big team, it's Man City, that you'll get through this, or are you worried about 3 on the bounce?
Our form does not look good, and this is not the ideal time to be facing Manchester City. Like, we all know the quality that they have, and our recent home record, it's been shocking. It's like an absolute reverse of our away record at the start of the season, and I'm a bit worried about Man City. Not gonna lie, I'm very worried about the match tomorrow. Whether we actually get a win is very highly unlikely, but we'll just have to wait and see. I can only hope.
Listen, seeing Liverpool fans go from how confident they were at the end of last season to now is mad. We had a big super chat come in here. This is a big super chat from Football Terrace royalty, Monsieur Ahmed, who says Salah go back in instead of Mahrez and get Rodri out. He's not better than Hendo. Rodri passes sideways. Hendo has been more effective than him. So Mahrez out. That's £8 gone. Okay, and that puts Mahrez out. So that's easy. Mo Salah is back in. Rodri is then out, and Jordan Henderson, who I can't see, there he is there. Jordan Henderson with his big head, he's going in. So that puts a bounty or a book on Raheem to get Salah out will cost you nothing because it'll be £1. It's just in there like for like. With Henderson, he now has I can't even count right now. Sorry, a £12 bookmark on his head. If you want to get him out, it's going to cost you £12 to do it. Monsieur Ahmed there, absolutely back in his club. Will the Man City fans step up and back there?
Mansour though, Henderson has been playing as centre back, not CDM though. That's the difference.
Well, that's
why
for
would
3
you
games though. That was for the last 3 games. But
because
if you look at the whole season, he's been mainly playing at centre midfield and centre defensive midfield.
Yeah, but not even that. He's been average. He's been average.
Really?
Well, I disagree with that, David.
Really?
I think he's played quite well.
Fam, that's what Henderson does. Henderson is an average player. Henderson's average performance is what you need because your midfield don't like to do much. So Henderson being in there is fantastic because he don't do much.
Disingenuous.
Oh, see, I disagree because I think you talk about stats, and I'm not a stats going on about too much, but I mean, Liverpool do not lose a lot. I think it's only twice when he's that. I might be wrong, but the record is they do win a lot when he's in that team. I know it was like 90% last season, and you can just tell though. You can just tell. So you're saying Thiago is like a Spanish Andre Gomez, right? So see Thiago, Bayern Munich won the Champions League. If he's like that good, and if Henderson doesn't have that effect on the team, how come he can't go in that midfield and we're missing it? So Henderson, obviously, that shows that Henderson does have a good effect there, and he makes other players play better. It's untangible to work out. You can't look at it as a stat, but see if you're a Liverpool fan, you watch every game 90 minutes, you can just tell the difference. It's so obvious.
No, I agree with you. I fully agree with you about Henderson. I think Henderson he's average, but he's what you need. He's okay. I know Terry's not going to like this comparison. I don't
say Roy Keane, aren't you? Yeah,
no, I'm not going to say Roy Keane. I'm going to say
I'm only joking, Terry. I'm only joking.
I'm going to say like Michael Carrick. when you ask most United fans, they'll say average player at best. That's probably what they'll say. Michael Carrick. Well, like not the no. Terry. You even said this yourself. They'll say like, oh, he's like Jorginho, where it's like all he does is pass sideways and backwards. He don't really do much.
Man United,
in that team,
We know. We know Wall, bro.
Hold on. Isn't I Test a Man United fan?
No, he's not a Man United fan.
There we go. So
He's a
my point
consumer
is-
of our brand. He's not a Man United fan.
for what,
Conway,
for
though, you
what
said-
Henderson is there to do,
What is he there to do?
it's
David?
fantastic. No, he's literally there just to he's like a glue in the team. He just holds the
No,
team
but what
together.
else? No, what else other than that?
I don't really know. I don't watch. I don't really
Can
care
I
enough.
make a point?
I don't really care enough. Like,
Can I make a point? Look at last season or season before, right? Manchester City 3-1 win, right? Who beats no, it wasn't Kyle Walker. Down the right hand side, crosses it for Mane to score. Henderson. Chelsea, Mane 1-0, Anfield season before after Salah's goal. Henderson crosses it. So it's not like he's not impacting games. I just think there is a cloud that people put over him and they just don't want to look past it. He's playing at centre half and he's just I think he's brilliant. I get what you're saying, mate.
We've had another super chat come in. Sorry, Pete. Sorry, mate. We had a super chat come in here. This is about I've done the exchange rate. This is about £8. So we can't take out Rodri for that straight away, but it means to get Henderson out is only a £4 marker on him now. City fans, speak up or forever hold your peace in relation to that. When looking at this team as well, hang on a minute. Rodri disrespect. What's he saying here? I had a super chat come through. It hasn't come up on my screen yet. Now I'm going to sneeze. Very unprofessional. Oh, wow. Bless me. Rodri disrespect shows football knowledge, but they lap up Thiago's nice passing that ends with nothing. There you go. The super chats come in, and Rodri is now back. Rodri is now back in this team. Henderson out. Rodri back in. City fans stepping. Oh, hang on a minute. Rodri over Henderson. Henderson can be the greatest ever Liverpool captain. Sorry, Hendo can be the greatest ever Liverpool captain, but Rodri is just better. That now it's £6 if you want to get Rodri out of this team. They have stepped up here. Man City fans or football fans in general have done this. And look, when you look at the balance of that team, would you say on a reflection of this season, would you say that's fair?
No, because Ederson should be goalkeeper no matter what.
How? I don't know. I want to ask this question.
How on earth is a goalkeeper that's missed how many games, however many games he's missed, in addition to that, what?
2.
You're trying to say he missed 2 games? Are you forgetting about the beginning of the season when you had Adrian in goal? You had Callagher in goal for at least more than 2 games. So don't even try to say he only missed 2 games.
That was an UCL.
What?
I thought we were doing Premier League. Not just
no.
UCL.
We're talking about the man has missed games in comparison to another man who's only missed games due to COVID, has the most clean sheets, I think, the best defense in the league by far, right? And only conceded 13 goals in the Premier League so far.
Right. You're on that point. I've looked at Man City's last couple of games, and the other opposition teams on average have about 1.2 shots on target. So what's your point?
There we go. Shade man, let's go.
If they're not gonna actually do put some shots into the box, what is he there to do? Like, Alisson has had shots at him and he's saved us on multiple occasions. Newcastle,
Listen,
Man United,
Edison's done the same
Arsenal.
Again, Egal, I'd put it like this. If I take an average goalkeeper and I put one in Man City and one in Liverpool, which team is going to be worse off? Whichever team you think will be worse off has the better goalkeeper. For me personally, you put in, if you were to put
context,
if you put Kepa in Liverpool and Man City, at Man City, you may concede a couple more goals, but it's not going to be as detrimental as Liverpool having Kepa in goal.
Liverpool's going to lose games.
Context. With the injuries, yes. But if you look at it retrospectively, if you go back last season and you look at their injuries, Ederson was saving them last year. He ended up he won Golden Boot last year.
He conceded goal. He gave away goals against Man United.
He gave away a lot of goals.
Did he not win the glove?
Yeah, he did win the glove. He did win
the glove.
Was it not joint with Nick Pope?
It was joint.
It was not joint. It was not joint.
No, he beat Pope by 1.
He was clear by 1.
Well, how much?
He was clear by 1.
But beating Nick Pope to it, like that, actually, you sort of look at it and go, is that like only by 1 when you've got a superior team? Like that isn't. I mean, it's good, but it isn't like, oh wow, like Nick Pope. Nick Pope should have got it, but the fact that he's at the team that he's at. But Listen, it's a really good debate. We've got a few more super chats. Then I want to talk a bit more about tomorrow's game and the title race element, which I know everyone cares about. Jammer here says Ederson got the Golden Glove last season with Firmino and Garcia at centre-back. Claudio Bravo proved David's statement wrong. So right now, there's a book. It's £10 to get Ederson out of goal. The viewers are backing Igal on this one. Monso back in again, says Hendo back in. Wow, he's put Henderson back in the team. He's backing his boy. So that removes the £6 on Rodri and puts a £9 book on Henderson as it stands right now. And he goes back into the team. Monster stepping up and backing his boy. Henderson back in the team.
He also said Alisson.
Oh, get Alisson back in the team. Oh, well, actually, okay. Well, you can't quite do that. There's two options. You can have zero. Monster, you can not super chat this. You can just comment normally. You can either have a 0 book on Henderson's head or be £1 off from getting Alisson out. You tell me and we'll revert it whichever way around in terms of spreading. We're gonna offset your investment here between the two things is what we're gonna do. And Hendo has 1 L in 2.5 years starting midfielder. Come on, bro. That's an amazing stat. Really, is that true? Only 1 defeat in 2.5 years as a starting midfielder. Mad. Is that true?
Well, it can't be because they lost to, Atletico. They lost to Atletico once.
I think,
and then they lost to Watford. So
he has got a good record. I
agree with that. He's got a good record, but that one is a bit excessive.
I'm not sure that's correct.
Yeah,
I'm put my mortgage on that.
He lost to Arsenal in the league last year. Hang on a minute. A tenner on each. He's come in and put a tenner on each there. So that actually means, right, let me get this done right. Alisson's now got a book of £4 on his name, and Henderson's in with a book of 5. There we go. Quick maths on there. So
one thing on the Ederson, just quickly on the Ederson and Alisson debate. I'm not saying Ederson's not a bad keeper. I think it's a bit like David De Gea and comparing David De Gea and Alisson. It's like you're comparing two goalkeepers are slightly different in the fact that De Gea is known for pulling off world-class, incredible saves, where Alisson's a little bit more positional and he doesn't make those long Hollywood saves, but because he's in the right position, he makes it look easy. It's a bit like comparing Gigi Buffon to Iker Casillas, because Buffon pulls off the odd Hollywood save, but most of the time he puts himself in the right position to make the saves look easier than they actually are. So,
as Alisson won, like when it comes to the Big Six games, does he not want more Big Six games compared to the likes of Ederson?
One thing does Alisson not start for his country?
What I'd say about Alisson is I've not seen Alisson get beat at like the near post as regularly as I've seen Ederson get beat at the near post. Like there's been 2 goals Martial scored against him, both last season. Yeah, which I celebrated as ice cold Martial. But when you watch the goals back, they weren't that great a shot. They weren't like rockets. They didn't sort of ripple the back of the net. They were almost scuffy shots.
Didn't he give the ball to Scott McTominay?
Yeah, he gave the ball to Scott McTominay for that. Yeah, I mean, I personally, we won't go against the super chats because we respect the super chats massively from everybody. But from my point of view, I feel like he's clear a long way. I lost my train of thought for a second there because I read something someone else put in. Hang on a minute. Jammer has come here and said he missed the 2-1 to Arsenal, 3-0 to Watford, and the 7-2 to Villa. Can somebody verify that? Just put in those results. Who scored in? Go and verify. Just literally search Liverpool's losses and check who was in the team sheets.
He didn't miss the 2-1 to Arsenal because he was the one who gave the ball back to Van Dijk. Because remember last season when they made the mistake, because Lacazette, Arsenal 2 shots on target, won the game.
Look at this. Alisson and Hendo out. Rodri and Ederson back in the team.
Thank you, Central 100 points. Come on.
Look at that. He's back.
I need to get the burner account out.
Kesh the other day when we were doing an Arsenal one, he was on it. He was like, I don't care, bro. I'm just getting alive. Kesh was doing it. It was all good. Look at that. City fans stepping up here at the Football Terrace. We love you for it. You were going to say something. Sorry, Ram.
No, I'm just having a look. He wasn't there at Aston Villa. That's one thing that is for sure. He didn't start against Arsenal in that loss, actually. He actually didn't start in that loss.
So the point I'm making is you need to go back to all the Liverpool defeats in the last 2.5 years and just see whether if more than one of them he started in. So if you missed out on all those other losses, what about the 5?
Oh,
The
you're
5-0 drum in the City.
Was that 2.5 years ago?
What about
That was
this?
last year.
What about this, guys?
You got 9 months ago.
Oh,
What about
sorry,
this?
sorry.
Edison
I was
has
thinking
played.
2017-18. Sorry.
Edison has played 20 games, right? In those games he's had 13 clean sheets, right? I think he's conceded about 13 goals this season. And then in the other hand, you have Alisson who's played 18 games out of the possible 21 games that he could have played. So he missed more games, right? He only has 5 clean sheets out of 18 games, and I think he's conceded about what? Let me check how many goals he's conceded. I need to find that out. It just doesn't.
They are both from the same country. For that country, Alisson starts for me.
No,
Simple.
but are we going on international or are we going based on this season?
No,
Because if
my
I'm going
point
based on
is-
this
my point
season,
is-
it's not Alisson.
Miguel, my point
This is
is
my
when
take.
you have those two,
So then why
right?
don't we have Aguero in?
I said that I'd have Aguero in. I'm taking one-legged Aguero over any of these strikers comfy.
Okay,
Like,
so that's the thought process that we can't. That doesn't mix. Because I'm going based on what we have available plus who's actually played this season.
But
There's a case for there wouldn't be a
got-
case for Jota if it wasn't based on this season.
I've got to address that here with Monster Ahmed. So Monster, I get what you put in financially, but remember, people had a book. They had a book on their head. So Rodri had a £9 book. So when you put in £20, £9 of your 20 is used to remove Rodri, and then the rest goes in on the player. So you ended up with just there being it was like £5 on Henderson because of the offsetting. That's why, bruv. That's how it works. Because if someone put 20 right now, right? If someone put £20 right now on Jota to stay, and then somebody puts £30 in to put Origi in, the book number on Origi's head is 10 because you have to offset. That's why it's that way around, bro. Jammer here came in and said, "I don't care what because I don't care about who takes the L, the XL,
XI.
the XO, to be honest, the Alisson makes mistakes too. Edison was awful last season. That's not him usually. Who are you backing here? I'm confused.
He's a Man City fan, so he's probably.
Edison's got an extra bit of money on his head now. So that's a £5 book on his head that's been put in there for. Yep.
It was 2 games. 2 games in the 2.5 seasons, 2.5 years. He lost, and funny enough, it was against Man City, 2-1.
There we go. Commenting from Hussein, who says, Agal, remember when you put Thomas Partey into the Man United and Arsenal combined 11 when he only played 1 game? What's wrong with you?
I didn't actually put him in. Terry, if you remember, I said don't put him in. I said put Fred or
I'm not. It's not me asking. It's the super.
No. But I want you to back me up on this because if you remember,
but you got to answer the super chat. Don't tell me I didn't do that wrong, brother. You know I didn't do that, Terry. Bro, you like
Thomas Partey better than Joshua Kimmich.
You like to do that.
I have a headache. Sorry,
I was with you from day one. Like, don't say bro. I didn't do anything.
Is that you mean to wait, Thomas Partey, or is that the Ghanaian Adam Lallana? Because right now, every time he steps on pitch, no. I'm sorry. I've got beef with this. I've got beef with this guy. You made a song about him. I've got beef with Liverpool fans as well because
I made a song about him. Am I Denial?
You made songs. You made songs about him.
This is a Liverpool.
You made songs about these guys, and all they do is walk on pitch and get passes. That's it. That's all they do. I'm sorry.
You worry about your Kai for 75 million.
Hey! I'm not worried about my guy. You should be worried about yours
right now. So noisy.
Sorry, Dave. Calm your gas. Yeah, we're talking about Liverpool, not Arsenal.
Exactly.
So we can talk about. We
can't talk about your 72 million pound flop, can we?
So we can talk about if we lose this. If you lose tomorrow, how a certain other German manager might be right up your backside, and the top 4 don't look as comfy as it did. We can talk about that then.
Who?
Well, the only other
this is
German
the same man
manager in the
calling
whole
his
league.
team dead 2 days ago. No, is it?
When did I? Hey! I said my team was dead because of Lampard. What happened? Lampard gone. Now we got Tuchel. Upgrade on. We got an upgrade on a certain other German manager. Go look at the stats at Dortmund.
All right. Okay.
The biggest thing about Tuchel I like is watching him. Because his ears are so big. Man looks like the FA Cup, Like he just see a shadow of him, right? It's like, rah. I had a friend at school where such a bad nickname. They weren't a bad nickname for him. So he had big ears. They were big. They stuck out. They were huge, right? And it just so happened his surname was Jupp. So he used to call him Jupp, make up. Like, it just worked. It's so perfect. You know what I mean? Great. They were big. And I remember seeing him. He left school. I didn't see him a day after he left school. And then actually, he also challenged me once to he did karate at a different school, and then challenged me to a fight, like a kickboxing karate type fight. He never went through with it in the end. I think he realized what would happen. It was like, bro, you do 2 hours a day in a community center. I train 6 hours a day, fight for my country. He was like, oh yeah, maybe. Never see him again. And then about 3 years ago, I bumped into him. Man, I don't know how it's done, like cosmetically, but them ears were like, they were like someone else's ears, bro. They were smaller.
They pinned his ears back.
I was a grown man with a kid, and I was like, bro, I was like, them ears look good. And he's like, oh, thanks for noticing. I was like, how do you expect me not to? The last time I saw you, you look like a windsock. Do you know what I mean? And now it's good. No, that's terrible. Ears still, we'll have to take the mick out of ears still. That's not been put on the no-fly zone, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
fine. Ears, cool. Go on, bro.
We're going to talk to the Liverpool and Man City fans about how they expect to line up.
Yeah, that's a good one. Go on then. I'd like Ram to answer that one for me, bruv. How are you going to line up tomorrow?
So Alisson should be back after that little illness that he had, that stomach bug. He'll be fine. So Alisson in goal. Be right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold with Andrew Robertson. Centre backs.
Here we go.
Ideally, I would play Davies and Kabak, so I would have Fabinho in midfield, Fabinho and Henderson in midfield, because I think they're back as well, but it's not going to happen. So I'll probably put maybe Kabak and Fabinho in defense. And then hopefully Henderson will be playing in midfield with Wijnaldum and Thiago, and Salah, Mane, and Firmino up front.
Can I ask
You're playing both of your new signings. Both of them.
No. I would like to, but realistically,
didn't you say? Were you one of the people who said, "Oh, why?" When asked, "Why didn't you play your new signings?" Didn't you say, "Oh, they're not. They have to get used to the system, so they'll be used to the system in like 5 days."
Mm-hmm.
He trusted his manager.
But I think, guys, Klopp sees Fabinho as the centre back this season, though. I think that's what you need to get. From the start of the season, Fabinho's the fourth centre half going into the season. So I don't think he's going to change that. So look at Ben Davies as the spare one and Kabak as the guy coming in. That's the way I think he'll do it. I might be wrong. That Davies I liked his interview. There's a lot of people were saying from the Championship, there's different conversations recently saying about how certain players have came up, like Watkins today. That genuinely wasn't a dig. I was just saying that. Like Bowen. So there's been quite a few from the Championship. So we'll see.
Ruben Neves and Diogo Jota played in the Championship as well.
So do you expect him to go with Thiago as a 6 or Ronaldo? Because I know he's been switching it from time to time.
No, I think Henderson's going to play 6. This might be my hope. Might be my hope, because I don't want to see Henderson in defense, man. I want him in midfield.
Do you have confidence the way you're speaking? You have no confidence.
No, Liverpool fans. I haven't seen Liverpool fans this shook since Roy Hodgson was in charge. Like legit.
Calm down, Terry. Come
on. It's always, if we can just. But even to an extent, Epic Nims, like fans at the moment in general don't want to pick up their. Everyone's scared of being a meme or getting clipped up or getting it wrong. Like, say what you really like. Ram, just admit, like, I'm shitting it, bro. We're so crap at the minute, and City are amazing. Epic Nim be like,
I admit. I'm hoping to God that Henderson plays in midfield. I am hoping, but I don't think it's going to happen. I honestly don't think it's going to happen.
I got a question for you as well, Ram, on this. If you don't win, lose or draw, do you think your title defense is over? And if so, if you concede it as fans, should you stop wearing the gold badges?
I'd say gold badges. I made an analogy. I said this to Conroy on Thursday. This game is like Bruce Wayne trying to get out of that cave in The Dark Knight Rises. This is the last leap of faith. And if it works, great. We will still have a chance. If it doesn't, we're going to fall flat on our ass, and we're going to be, I think honestly it'll be done.
Do you know what I think is great about this as well? Right? People know my opinions on what happens when things don't go well for Klopp towards the end of his tenure at clubs. They tend to drop off quite badly. The funny thing is, they haven't even started the drop off. It hasn't even started. They don't finish top 4 this year. to go into next year and the drop off is then, oh, you are in for a treat. You lot are going to lose your heads because you'll be done for. Freaking, you got this Davies bloke, yeah? You're all like, oh, he's come from the championship. You know, championship players have come up and been great. Yeah, but they were good in the championship. No one was talking about this Davies bloke before
He might not
in.
be good. He might not be good, but he's just a spare centre back.
This Kabak guy had conceded. He's so. You not see about Schalke. I've got no words because Schalke are so bad.
They are so bad. They do end up being bad. There's still no excuse because generally Liverpool fans have told us for 2.5 years that Jurgen Klopp doesn't buy stars and he turns water into wine. He can make good players great and bad players good. So there is no excuse for any of them flopping. Like Jurgen Klopp's their coach, he's their manager, he's their confidant, he's their mentor, he hugs them. He should not have any issues. He goes,
let's try to wind us up.
Listen, Terry,
what
did I say? What did I say in the preview, Terry? I said that this game could be the beginning of Liverpool's decline. We might have already started Liverpool's decline could have already started. But the reason why I say that is going into the summer, if they lose the likes of either Salah or Mane, I don't think Liverpool are prepared to replace them adequately, especially even if they don't lose them, they get Van Dijk back. Who's to say Van Dijk is going to be 100% fit and ready and mentally ready to play? Because when you get a knee injury, first thing that happens is you're mentally not playing the same because you're cautious of injuring yourself again. So there could be many different factors in why Liverpool could not reach the height again. And also, we all know what Liverpool were doing over the past 2 seasons. We're overachieving on their expectations. Their expectations were never to be clear that many points in the league and win the league. You could still win the league, but not that by that many points difference. Win the Champions League after failing the season before. You know what? You did me a favor. You beat Tottenham. You did us all Arsenal fans a favor. But hey, you guys, I feel like you guys overachieved over the last 2 seasons.
But what is overachieving? Like, I don't understand. What is overachieving? You go into a game to win, right? And if you win all those games, you've successfully carried out. So see, like when Leicester won the Premier League, they won the Premier League. So I don't think people should say, like, I understand technically what overachieving means, but it's like if you have a plan and you carry it out, so instead of getting 80% in a test, you get 100% because you've won that many games. So for me with Klopp, it's like, I think people, like, I don't know if it's rival fans or desperate for Liverpool fans to start turning on him, right? We're here because of Klopp. If you turn on him, right, I don't think you're a proper fan. Like, it's called support. Like, at the moment, anyway. At the moment, I don't. Why would you?
You're setting yourself up.
No,
so
listen, you don't have to turn on him.
Comrade, you know what? You don't have to turn. You're absolutely right. My view is this. I agree with you, Comrade, that you shouldn't be. Even if it goes, if you finish 5th this season, you still shouldn't turn on Klopp. And the reason I say is this. I think we're about to enter. I've been saying for 2 or 3 years, and we're kind of there already, and we have been there. But sometimes when you're living something, you don't kind of notice it until like either years later. We're living in an era where you could win the league one year and come 6th the next. You just could because of how good the teams are, the money that's now in the Premier League, and vice versa. And it could become even more competitive with every other league struggling financially compared to the Premier League, right? And Kesh asked me some questions the other day about like going in for certain players financially. More's come out since then that the problems that Barca, Real Madrid have all got because like financially their leagues are they don't have the TV deal monies we do. So, and the reason why the Premier League's going through all this protocol to get the games out there is, and why they're showing every game on TV is because they're trying to keep that money coming in. So you could go for a period where you could be the best team in England for 2 years and then come 5th. And this is where fans have got to be really smart around turning on their manager and almost forcing their boards into sacking them. But you could turn it around the following year. The problem is we are a generation of we're a multiple generation of people now who were built upon instant gratification. You can pre-order the new album that's coming out from Drake, and it downloads while you're asleep overnight when it gets released. If I want something from Amazon, it's here tomorrow. Even during the pandemic, I want a new camera. I order it tomorrow morning. It arrives at my door. I sign for it. Instant gratification rules. People don't tend to have patience unless you've built up from nothing. So when you were building up from Roy Hodgson through Brendan and through Klopp, it was fine because you're like, I didn't have anything anyway. Ricky Gervais tells a really funny story about how when he first started making money, it was maybe after the first 2 seasons of The Office came out here. He said he was flying to America and he got to the airport and he was waiting with everybody else in like the departure lounge, and his name came out over the tannoy, and some dude in a suit came out and they walked him to the front and got him onto the plane. And he was like, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I don't deserve this. I'm the same as everybody else. The next time I went to the airport, he said the first thing he said to his missus was, where's that guy in the suit to walk us to the front of the queue? Because you suddenly used to it. And going backwards is always horrible. On the journey there, you don't mind putting in the hour of doing the extra work. As soon as you've reached it, as soon as you're at the top of that ladder, coming down's the hardest bit. And as a rival fan, of course, I'll say in real conversations, Klopp he's got loads of credit in the bank, should be given time. But I'm going to pull on that thread, because if I can do anything, if I can influence one person who influences 10, who influences 100, to do something bad to Liverpool that helps my team, why would I not do it? It's not like we're not going to advocate cruelty here. Like, if anyone says anything disgusting about Klopp, I'll stand up and say it's wrong about a player. But if it's like we want him out, bruv, I'll paint the pickets, bruv. I'll paint the signs, go outside Anfield with it. I'll support that, bruv. I'll George Soros this, you know what I'm saying? Like 110%. I'll support the protest because it's all good for us. There's some super chats to do here. First one from Ganga. Ganga Dip, who says, Terry, in all seriousness, the combined 11 should be Alisson, Cancelo, Fabinho, Diaz, Robertson, De Bruyne, Henderson, Gundogan, Silky Uki, Sterling, Jesus, debatable, and Salah. Interesting choices made there. There were some other super chats as well that I missed. I'm going to go to now. So, excuse me. Right, where are they? Where they gone? All right, here you go. One says, Kabak won Young Player of the Year last season. Chelsea fan, shush. Ashram Hussain.
I mean, Kolasinac won the Player of the Year when Arsenal got him, so doesn't mean none.
No,
there we go.
Mustafi's a World Cup winner.
You know,
How many minutes did he play, Dave? How many minutes did he play?
Who?
Mustafi.
I got no clue, bro.
He literally played the whole game against Ghana.
2 minutes.
I think like with everything, guys.
He played the whole game against Ghana. What are you
he played
talking
more
about?
than 2 minutes. He played more than 2 minutes.
But look at man like a gal defending his boy. I love it. Shadman here says, how dire is your defense? Has to be that the Schalke board thought, let's get Mustafi and Kolasinac and let go of Kabak. Listen, I think there's more to it than that.
Yeah,
hence why I'm Ollie in, Terry. No, I hear you. Exactly. Rival fans should all be Ollie in. There's no doubt. Monster as well, with another super chat here, said, how is it overachieving? We have shown progression throughout our seasons. Champions League final, we lost, and then we won and competed for the league that week, and then we won the league. Look, I kind of understand where Gal's coming from. I think you didn't mean to win the league as easily as you. Do you know what would be interesting? If you hadn't have won the league as easily as you did last year, the drop off this year, one wouldn't be so epic, and I think it'd be easier to digest. Again, like I say, if you're a millionaire, actually, if you're worth like 100 million quid, you live on yachts and mansions, you have chefs and maids and gardeners, you don't lift a finger other than like when you barely wipe your own bum, and then suddenly you've got no money. You feel it more. If you've never had money, it's just life, isn't it? And right now, I think Liverpool are going through this. Oh, we used to win these games easy, no problem. And it's just they've got to suffer a little bit. And I'm enjoying watching the suffering. The suffering is amazing.
That's
Who's
interesting,
the favourites, Terry?
Oh,
I'll
still
go through
Liverpool.
my starting.
No, it's Man City.
Dave, don't do it, Dave.
No, I'm sorry. Liverpool are the champions. I feel like
Dave.
Hold on. Let me finish. I feel like what happened 5 months ago when these men were all talking about greatest Premier League team ever assembled and bloody blah. They seem to have all forgotten it. Like it didn't happen.
Did I say that? Did I say that?
About not
you did.
you.
Terry, because I got the receipts. Yeah, I said.
You said this team's better than the Invincibles.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that. I said put some respect on the treble-winning team. Yeah, they've won everything available except the Carling Cup.
They didn't win the treble.
Wait, are you talking about your treble-winning Europa League?
They didn't win the treble though.
No, I'm talking about United's treble.
Okay, thank you. I thought you were talking about the Europa League ones. I was about to have you on toes.
Liverpool did win the Carling Cup, so there you go. Take that.
What I did love about Liverpool last year is how they took 2 trophies from 2 different seasons and merged them together for the photos. Because technically, the new Champions League final hadn't happened yet. But I remember thinking, that's so shameless, That for me was one of those moments where you're like, I could even tell some of my friends that Liverpool fans were like, oh, why are we doing that? It's so cringy. I could just see it in their faces. But there we go. That's football. Listen, that's the combined 11. it is finished. Somebody here says I missed a £20 super chat putting Mo Salah in over Mahrez. Mo Salah's already in. I definitely didn't see no £20 super chat come from anybody, barring the one from Monster earlier on in the day, which we definitely addressed.
Before you end, I
Yeah.
just want to see my starting 11 for tomorrow since Ram said his.
Oh, yeah, go on, mate. Yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
First of all, we have Ederson at goalkeeper. Right back, I think, is going to be Cancelo, and then the normal pairing of Stone and Diaz, and we'll probably have left back Zinchenko, and then have I think Gundogan, and who else? I think Rodri as well in there. With Bernardo will probably play in there. Bernardo will play in midfield as well, and they will probably have Sterling and Foden on the left-hand side.
Okay. That's not a bad. I think it's a good enough team to win. We've had another super chat come in. Hendo in confirmed as we go into the last minute of the show. Monster's been waiting for that. Monster's been sitting there waiting. I'm waiting to Terry to say the show is coming to an end, and I'm getting the super chat in. Henderson goes in at the death. At the death. And sets up, gets his guy in there. But look, it's going to be an epic game tomorrow. I can't wait for it. Before that, though, we have Man United versus Everton. The game starts in about 2 hours time. So we're going to be live around 10 p.m. tonight. The stream for the match reactions already set up. So get yourselves across to that. Hit the like button over there and get yourselves geared up and ready. It's going to be amazing. Thank you to everyone who's come on. I know Agal had to leave. He wasn't feeling too great. But until next time, everyone, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless.